they're not enough to stop carriers. He is going to need this lair to finish as soon as humanly possible, or as soon as zergly possible. I know that was pretty bad, but anyway, CatZ dropping another hatchery over here at the high yield mineral area, so if he can get that up and the lair up, he may be able to crank out enough hydras to deal with any kind of carriers. I mean, a carrier by itself is really nothing special, but if the Zerg player has no real anti-air, it can mean a lot of trouble. So let's see if HuK does what I expect him to do and just start lifting drones all over the place. There's only one spore crawler there. It looks like if he came over to the backside, yep, like he is doing now, he is out of range of the spore crawler and just scoring tons and tons of drone kills here. Trying to keep an eye on the minimap just to make sure CatZ doesn't do anything crazy, but these Phoenixes scoring a lot of drone kills before heading on home. Or I think they're heading home, yeah they are. So Speedlings of CatZ not really sure what to do against these sentries and mass pylons and cannons of HuK's front door. I almost called him HuK, which isn't a total lie, but that's not his name. And first carrier's done. He is getting 4 interceptors right away. He's also getting the graviton catapult, which I have seen some research saying that it's a totally worthless upgrade, like totally not worth anything unless you're just Gosu carrier micro, because it only affects the first initial launch of the carriers, of the interceptors from the carrier. So unless you're moving in and out quite a lot, it really is not worth the money, and it also takes up time instead of the it also takes up time. Well, no, these other upgrades aren't very good at the fleet beacon, but anyway, as long as he's doing the weapons, that's really the important part, and he is getting air weapon upgrades. He's already got level 1 done, and he'll probably be shooting for level 2 here. Oh, back at the back entrance of the natural, HuK again with those force fields and cannons. CatZ really can't do anything, but it does draw the attention of these Phoenixes back away, and now some Hydras are on the field. Thank goodness for CatZ being able to have some anti-air now before these carriers really come into play. 3 carriers done now. He needs to go ahead and make all these interceptors. Carriers come out of the gate with 4 interceptors, and you can build 4 more each for these carriers. And it looks like their graviton catapults are done, but like I said earlier, unless there's just a ton of engagement and re-engagement, it really doesn't make a huge difference. CatZ being good to make lots and lots of overlords, because these Phoenixes are just killing the crap out of them all over the map. Finally, the carriers are moving out. He waits till he has 3 full carriers, and check out these interceptors. One great thing about the carriers is that it requires your enemy to focus fire, because if CatZ does not focus fire these carriers, if he could have 100 Hydras here and they'll just be killing interceptors all day long, he needs to actually be paying attention and focus down these carriers. Oh, and taking the cliff, keeping the carriers hovered over the cliff is going to make it really hard for these Hydras to focus fire anything, especially if they don't have vision. Finally, some Lings providing vision. The Hydras are now in range of the carriers. There is a Guardian shield up, and that does affect the carriers taking less damage from each little Hydra spit. And it looks like HuK has got a carrier down to only 40 health. He does have increased weapons for these interceptors, but they're doing a ton of damage, and every second basically that CatZ is out of range and not focus firing this carrier with 6 health. Oh, and he drags them off the creep, so the Hydras are so slow they cannot catch this poor shieldless, healthless carrier. He lives with only 6 health. That's just crazy. So, wow, that was really a lot of Hydras unable to take down even one carrier due to the various cliff, creep, and micro that HuK was able to do there. Good God, and this hatchery does not stand a chance. Even 2 more Hydras spawn out here, but they're just going to start shooting interceptors. That's their natural AI tells them to do it, because the carriers don't actually have an attack. It's all these interceptors. And see, this Hydra is basically spinning around trying to figure out which interceptor they want to kill. HuK, actually, you can see the red line there. He was queuing attacks up against these Hydras to kill one and then the other. So these carriers going to move pretty much unimpeded. Basically, all CatZ has left is Speedlings. I'm not even going to pay attention to them anymore, because these cannons and pylons... Oh, actually, HuK did try to drop an expansion over here, and the Speedlings did find it, and they are probably going to kill it, but I'll just leave the Nexus up down here so you can see its health. It looks like he is probably going to get the CatZ. Yeah, he managed to get that Nexus to cancel. CatZ actually did build a Corruptor or 2. He is getting transfusions on his Corruptor. He still hasn't killed this. Oh, finally that carrier with just a little bit of health finally goes down, and another carrier is already here to replace it in line. So CatZ, these queens are just attacking interceptors all over the place. HuK was still left with 4 carriers. This poor Corruptor is just going to be splattered. I think he does have level 2 weapons now. Yes, he does. And HuK basically just building more and more interceptors and upgrading whatever he feels like at this point. 4 carriers basically able to take out any spore crawlers, queens, and hydras that CatZ is able to produce off of these 2 hatcheries. He does have a 3rd hatchery here, but it's not really producing anything at the moment. He's only got a couple of drones on it. So there we see the might of the carrier. And CatZ says here, you went for the extra 20 points of Shiver. If you saw Coffin Luck versus Pain User on this same map, they mentioned Shiver points. Really, basically what happened is the player Shiver said she would give 20 Shiver points to whichever player made either Ultralisks or carriers in this game. So HuK went for the invaluable Shiver points. I say invaluable, but really they have no value, so take that as you will. But anyway, HuK wins, CatZ GG's, and that was a pretty entertaining game. I love carriers. I hope you guys do too. Have a great, wonderful, terrific day, and don't forget to visit pokerdiscounts.com. Thanks.